Oh, got you going now. I feeling so good. Hello everyone, I'm Branden Bodendorfer, and thank you once again for tuning in. If you guys have been a long follower or just joining you, I'd like to welcome you to the podcast where we talk about digital planning, business, entrepreneurship, and tech reviews. Today, guys, we're going to be talking a lot about getting started. Yes, in 2021, we're still trying to get motivated or get through this pandemic and find what it means to be successful in 2021. But before we jump into all that, first off, if you guys are a subscriber, thank you so much. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watching on YouTube as a video podcast, please take a minute, subscribe to the channel, go ahead, leave a comment, and please, if you can, give us some type of review. We're pretty new to the game in podcasting, and we'd love to get more reviews and more information out there so we can reach a larger audience and share what it means to succeed with digital planning. Guys, over the last few weeks and each and every week, I get an opportunity to talk to so many of you. I get to talk from people in different industries, people in different professions. If you be a banker, business entrepreneur, construction, realtor, a lawyer. Yes, I even talk to lawyers. But it doesn't matter what industry you're in, or it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, Australia, US, Southern Africa, wherever you may be, I get a chance to talk to so many of you, and so often I hear so much motivation for digital planning, and I hear so many great ideas and exciting plans that you have for this coming year. But the same sense, I hear a lot of the same narrative each and every week. We are approaching the second month of the year. Yes, January is almost behind us, and if you're in the US, I can almost promise you're saying, thank God we're going to get past January. January has been a month. It feels like it's been its own year for that matter. There's so much stories and history that's going to be written about this month and the last 3 weeks that it's understandable that some of these questions or some of these comments, excuses really, have come to me as I've talked to so many of you. Now, yes, when I get a chance to talk to so many of you, it's really about planning. It's really about laying out what the future has to offer. And that is exciting. And more importantly, that shows me that you're motivated. But it also concerns me because there's so many of you that I don't get to talk to. And there's so many of you that are in the same boat as those that I speak with that are trying to figure out what it means to move forward in 2021. And I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. You know, honestly, I got kind of ridiculed, or I not maybe even ridiculed, but even poked a little bit this week. I was talking to one individual and I got to some of my goals for January, and you could tell that like I was writing goals and I just stopped. Like I just had it. There was no more goals that I was going to punch into the month. And I said, well, I'll give you an example. Sometimes you just have to get over yourself and find what it is that's in you that will motivate you to move forward and determine what it is that you want to do. Now, I get it. There's so many outside pressures. I've had a lot of conversations where people have said to me, but, we're in lockdown. I haven't been in the office in nearly a year. I can't do face-to-face meetings. That's what my whole job was at one time. And I get it. Those are all things that are in your way. They're hurdles, they're obstacles, they're challenges that I know you can overcome because there's other technologies and other means. We've seen so much innovation over the last 12 months. It's really has impressed me. Even in my own establishments, I've seen a lot of people look at the situation and say, how can I improve upon this situation and make it better? In 2020, like many of you, we suffered a great financial burden. In that first month of being in lockdown here in the state of Wisconsin in the U.S., one of our businesses, our print shop, was down 83%. Reflecting on that, I was blown by it. Never in my life or expectations did I think just like that in a second's notice, in one memorandum, one executive order, one statement by a government official, and 83% of our business would be out underneath us. And not necessarily by their own doing, but by their care for those in their state, those that they're governing. Yes, this pandemic has definitely had a lot of mixed emotions between the science and the politics, if it be in the US or any nation for that matter. But the reality is we're all in it together. But being down 83% was just something that was it was hard. And I remember those first few weeks and I thought to myself, well, in 2 weeks we'll move through this, we'll move past this, and we'll be able to get back on the mends of things, and we'll be able to get back to normal. And about the first 3 days into those 2 weeks, I realized this isn't going to go on for just 2 weeks. This is going to be the next 6 to 8 weeks. And then by the third week of being in lockdown, I realized this isn't something that we're going to see any recovery in the next 6 months. And within the first 2 months, I remember talking to my pastor, and he said, by this time this year, it's going to be different. And I said, yeah, it's going to be different, but it's going to be 2 to 3 years before we're back to normal. And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and there was this moment that we both kind of acknowledged without saying words to each other, that we realized how much truth there was to that statement. So what happened? Was 83% being down 83% acceptable? Absolutely not. We couldn't survive on that. I wouldn't be here today talking to you guys if that is the path that we chose. I had to sit back and reflect. And in that time, so much innovation came out of our organization, especially in the printing facility that was seeing this huge, dramatic decrease in revenue. We looked at how we can become more in touch with our customer virtually. We looked at what products we can bring online. We looked at, is there a way that we can sell stuff across state lines into other neighboring communities and really serve more people and reach more people? And we did just that. Now, I'd love to tell you that we rebounded and we had a positive year, but that's not the truth either. But by the end of the year, we were down less than 10% for the whole year. That is impressive. And there was even some months in there where we actually had growth from the activities that we are doing. But it started with the staff, the people, the leaders making a decision that they were going to embrace the moment and decide to do something about it. So many of you that I've spoke to in the last few weeks have shared with me your ideas, your thoughts, your big ambitions for the future. But so many of you have been not able to nail down the timeline of milestones because you've told me that there's outside influences that are affecting your ability to move forward with those plans. I get it, but we can't settle for that. That is not the way we grow. We have to look at those opportunities, and maybe we need to build a bridge or build a pathway around the obstacle, but there has to be something that we can do. And it starts with you and me and the people that are closest to us. I want you to jump into your vision that you had for this year and look at the things that are big ideas and break down some of those key action steps that you figured that you could do in the first few weeks, in the first month, or in the first quarter of your path or journey to achieving that vision. I want you to look at those goals. I want you to look at those action steps. And I want you to ask yourself, out of all those things, what are the things that I can control? What are the things that I can turn a quarter turn today, this week, in the next month that are going to put me in the right direction? And I want you to set a priority for those things. Those should be the things that are part of your daily key 3. Because sometimes by simply taking action on our thoughts and ideas, we start to see movement. And with each week, that movement can pick up traction and speed. And soon we'll find ourselves in a position where we see the opportunities, we see the light. And when we reflect, we'll notice that yes, even in our darkest moments, being down 83% in the print shop, we finished the year in a position where we could move forward. That is so important, and that's what I encourage each and every one of you to do. Guys, we're going to move into next week, and we're going to be talking about focus. And it's going to be a deep dive into focus. If you look at your quarterly pages in our planning system, you're going to see that there is 3 boxes on that first sheet. And it's focus, forward, and routine. And we've talked about this a little bit, but I want to dive into the importance of focusing. And not necessarily focusing on what it is that you're accomplishing today, but focusing on what that vision looks like down the road. Walt Disney had a dream, a big idea. I mean, a real big idea, right? And I can see some of the different models and drawings that he did to show his planning and his thoughts for Magic Kingdom and the whole Disney World park. And today, when you visit, you can see the reality of those plans. And you can see that there's still opportunities for expansion and growth beyond his years. That started with deep focus. So guys, I want you to join me in that as we dive into that, and I'm going to uncover for you how you can start using some of your vision, some of your visionary skills in that part of the planning section, and look at this next quarter. Look at the quarter that we're in and really determine how you're going to focus through 2021 and why that's so important to bring up today, because I need you guys to embrace the position that you're currently in, the situation that you're in, and find the things that you can do today, the things that you can control. Determine what it is that you can control and start to move forward. And guys, I look forward to being on this journey with you. And if you haven't already, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, punch in that like button, and let me know in the comments below what you guys are doing, what you're motivated for in 2021. Let's get moving. I'm Branden Bodendorfer, and I'll see you next week.